Hello Pisces, and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising Pisces. If you don't know where your Moon, Rising and Venus sign are, then I will be putting a link in the description box down below so that you can go and check out your own natal chart and see where those signs might be. Partly one of the reasons I do that is because this is a general reading and it may not resonate with all you Pisceans out there. So you may find that your messages are within another one of your signs. Also, if you have a lot of Pisces in your charts but you're not actually a Sun Pisces, you may find that this reading will resonate with you more than your own sun sign. And also, cross watchers for Pisces, you may also find that this reading can actually be for yourselves rather than the energy of the person that you're actually watching the reading for. So also be aware that that is a possibility as well. So I'm going to start the reading as I've started these readings now in 2020. I'm starting them with a Namaste card, which I did last year as well, and then I stopped, but I'm going to bring them back in because I really like them. And this card is a blessing from the light, and it is very, very light, very full of light. It's quite difficult to see it with this glaring light above, but this is what the card looks like, and I will just read it for you. And it says, a blessing from the light, you are dearly loved more than you can possibly imagine, and you are never alone. A universe of love and light surrounds you and showers you with blessings that ebb and flow in your heart. So you may want to have a look at that as well. A bit glary there. Put my glasses back on so I can see. So that's the Namaste blessing card for you. Full of light and love, Pisces, which is interesting when I look at the rest of the cards that you've got here in this reading. I'm going to start with the center card here. At the very heart of your reading, Pisces, we find the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is saying to me that there has been a time for you of struggle, difficulty, things being not going smoothly, things being like a feeling of bashing your head literally off of a brick wall, or trying to get through something, round something, beyond something, but you just keep getting pulled back. It's like two steps forward, and 3 steps back. So you feel as though you're getting nowhere fast. But one of the main energies, shall we say, with this card is the actual feeling of like you want to give up, like you want to just say, okay, I quit, I've had enough, I'm tired, I've worn out, I can't do this anymore, I need to let go, I need to just admit defeat, is the energy that I'm feeling with this card today. And where you really want to be is here, which is the future. And it's almost like you can see it. You can almost like hold your hand out and feel it. And then you kind of feel as though it just kind of gets snatched away again. So this has been a long, ongoing process for you, Pisces. But because it is a 9, it is almost a completion. You are almost there. Whatever it is that you're doing, you are so close to getting a result from this and reaching the final conclusion of this. But it's come out with this card as a challenging card, the crossing card. Your challenge here is the 4 of Pentacles. And the 4 of Pentacles is saying to me that there is something that you may not be aware of on a kind of psychological level, if you like, or even a physical level, but something that you're holding on to really tightly, something that you don't want to let go of, that is kind of keeping you in this place. And this is saying that you need to be able to release this. And this could be a mistrust of your own abilities, of yourself, a mistrust of the universe not being able to look after you, a mistrust of feeling that if you let this go, that if you don't fully kind of take control of it in some way, then it's going to all go to hell very fast. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting from this today. Is that you almost feel as though you're the only one who can keep this ship from being wrecked on the rocks. But this card is saying to me that there is a need for you here to let go. This is your challenge. Your challenge is to let it be, let it go. Pisces, and it's come out with the Page of Earth, which is a kind of innocence card to me, a kind of playful, youthful, a need for kind of stepping back to a place of your own your kind of youthful quality of when life was a lot easier for you, when you could just kind of have fun. Or enjoy what you were doing. Find the fun maybe in what you were doing even. Whereas I feel this situation has become really hard, really tiring, really, exhausting, mentally, creatively, physically. You just feel as though you're on the rocks, or you're going to keep being on the rocks if you don't take control, like I was saying. But this card to me is saying that the best thing that you could do at this moment in time, Pisces, which probably doesn't sound like very good advice, but the best thing for you to do is to try and find the playfulness in this again. Try and find something, whatever it was that originally gave you that enjoyment and the value that you saw in it. Because I get the feeling at the moment that you're just exhausted. I just get the feeling of kind of knowing where you want to be, but no longer knowing how to get there. And this card has come out with the Empress card as well. So both these cards have come out over the top of your heart of your reading and your challenge, Pisces. And so the Empress energy is very much to do with the earth energies of how we take care of ourselves, abundance, cycles of time. It is a very feminine energy. Again, it doesn't have to be just for women, but this card to me speaks of that feminine feminine story, if you like, of what connects with the feminine. And this may even have something to do with a young child as well, with the Page of Earth here. I also get the feeling these kind of early kind of stirrings, early connections to something here. This could be somebody who is a female mentor, somebody who is like a mother figure. It doesn't have to be a mother. It can be a mother. It can be a sister, an aunt. It can be a good friend. But somebody who has got a lot of wisdom behind her. A lot of kind of a kind of wisdom that comes with experience, understanding, knowledge. Understanding of the seasons, understanding that things have to have the right time. You can't just rush everything. You can't make things, you can't force a situation. Because if you do try to force something, if you try to make something happen before it's ready to happen, you will end up having more problems to solve. A bit like if you, this is just an example, Pisces, but if you do have a baby and you have it too soon, then that baby, because it hasn't spent enough time within the mother, within the womb, developing as it should develop, could end up being born too early with very serious problems. And you're then having to kind of resolve all those problems. And I get the feeling there's a similar situation here. Doesn't necessarily have to do anything to do with a baby, although it could, because the Page of Earth being a young, innocent child energy could also have something to do with that as well. But it talks of timing, it talks of cycles, it talks of letting the process that has to happen in its time. To not force. You can't force the growth of plants. You can't make them. You can't like put them in the ground and allow them to kind of become seedlings and to grow into plants and harvest them before the time's ready. You can't go out there and force them to grow before that season has occurred. And so there may also be an awareness here as well of the seasons, of the changes of seasons as well. There may be something to do with coming into a more mature energy here as well, Pisces. Some of you may find yourself like, you know, you're coming out of childhood and you're becoming more mature and understanding of the way of life. And you're having to kind of struggle through with it. You may not want to be leaving that behind as well. Because there is this energy here of not wanting to let that go. Not wanting to let something go. So it could have something to do with childhood as well, Pisces, for some of you. Not wanting to mature, not wanting to move on, not wanting to leave your a feeling of kind of leaving that childhood behind, but it's not like it has to be that way. This is kind of saying, you know, that you can still incorporate this within this. So what's in your head, Pisces, is the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords is a card of heartache It's a card of real kind of painful situation, something really, really hurtful. Somebody who you knew well has really broken your heart. Again, it can be a family member, it can be a friend, it can be somebody who you work with, but it's somebody who you trust or trusted. But there is within this card a sense of now you realise the truth of something, where you thought before that something was, maybe that's partly what this is to do with as well, you thought that something was innocent and something was just an innocent kind of playfulness, and like there was nothing serious behind this. But there seems to be, because it's in your head and what you're aware of is this situation of having had your heart broken, of trusting something that turned out to not be trustworthy. But there is within this card, like I was trying to say earlier, there is this kind of healing process that is now taking place because of the fact that you now see things in a realistic, in a more down to earth, shall we say, kind of way as well. You're aware of the situation. You've seen things as they truly are, rather than how you just wanted them to be. And it's come out with 3 cards in all. The Hangman, which is saying to me there is a situation where you need to let go of something here, surrender to this situation, which again I feel has got a lot to do with this here. And kind of surrendering and letting it go, even though you're holding on really tightly and you don't want to. But the Hangman talks very much about the need to surrender something, to let it be, to let it go, to not force it, to try and see things. He hangs upside down because he wants to see things from a different perspective. And it's almost like letting go and letting God, as the saying goes. Kind of surrendering yourself to a higher energy, kind of saying, okay, I can't change that situation. I can't, on my own, if you like, make a difference to that situation. So I have to allow the universe, which is why he's kind of attached here. This kind of thread here, for me, kind of represents this connection to the universe and to everything, and kind of the divine energy and circle that he's kind of hanging off of, and his foot is kind of very much attached still. But there is a need here for you to be able to see things from a different perspective. To let this go, to let it be what it is, let it be what it's been. Whatever this situation has been for you, Pisces, as painful as it has been, what it's saying here is to allow yourself to give yourself some space from that. And it's come out again here. We have the 7 of air, or 7 of swords, which I always see as the kind of deceptive card. Almost to me like she's trying to pretend that she's something that she isn't. And this could be what you're kind of realising, that there has been a situation where somebody has kind of fooled you into believing that they were something other than they were. And that this is what's caused this, or even that they wanted to be your friend, or in a relationship. Things were, I'm not going to say it's third party, but it could be. There could be an element of third party here. But I do get more of a feeling of just something happening, a kind of betrayal on your trust and your belief in somebody has now been kind of rocked. And you're trying to, I feel kind of trying to really get away from that situation fast, but you just keep getting dragged back into it. And you keep getting dragged back into it because there's something about it that you won't let go. Almost like you keep revisiting it in your head. Maybe even trying to find some answers to it here as well. Trying to understand how and why. And what was the reason for it. And how could you allow that to happen? But there is a message here for you within this. And this is the messenger of Earth. And she's a very strong individual. The energies of Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. Very grounded, very solid energy. And so if this message is coming to you, Pisces, this message is something that doesn't come quickly. But when it arrives, it's a very thought out answer. A very thought out. I get more of a feeling of an answer rather than somebody coming towards you with a message. I feel more that this is about you kind of finding that answer and it being a very kind of solid, like you suddenly realize something, like you suddenly see something very clearly. But it's also to do with you kind of here, in the same kind of sense of hanging yourself here and kind of opening yourself up to bigger answers, to the universe, to kind of asking the universe for help in many ways. And then this kind of answer comes in. And the answer for me is something, like I said, it's very solid. It's like matter of fact. It's like you know for a fact that that's what it was, why and how. Because what we have below here is the Knight of Cups in reverse. And this is kind of the root cause or the reason for everything else that's happening. But it may be something that you're not aware of, Pisces. This is the energy of Pisces, Scorpio and Cancers. It's water. It's the element of intuition, trusting your own intuition. And because it's upside down, I would say that there's something here where you feel as though you haven't how can I put this? Like there's a situation where you put yourself out there, shall we say romantically, that you've been looking, searching for that love. But it's come out with the Nine of Pentacles here as well. So I get the feeling that you you kind of lost your way in it somehow. But you didn't quite, that the Knight of Cups didn't get to where it wanted to be. You didn't actually manage to deliver this cup here. But you wanted to. But maybe something else happened. Maybe somebody else got in the way. Maybe something stopped that from happening. because this has got a lot to do with your self-worth and your confidence. 9 of Earth is all about how we perceive ourselves. It's all about whether or not we give ourselves praise and recognition and realize how we have got ourselves to where we get to in life. That other people can help us, but nobody can really make us do that. Nobody can make us do it. So we might do things for other people as well, rather than always doing or acting for our own reasons. But at the end of the day, even if we do that, there is still a sense of nobody can actually really force us into that situation. We have to kind of allow that to happen for ourselves. We have to say to ourselves, okay, I agreed to do that. I said that I would do that. I didn't have to do it, but I did it anyway. But I also get the feeling that there's something here that you still, there's like, because there's this little flower here in your hand, and it's like you still have something to offer. You still want to make this offering. Whatever this offering is about, I get the feeling that this offering here, which is all about love, it's all about romance, it's all about idealism with the Knight of Cups. But it's like here you kind of, the Nine of Pentacles is saying that you almost like you have to recognize this in yourself, almost like you have to offer yourself what you need first. Recognize your own self-worth here, Pisces, before you go rushing off to give it away to someone else. And what you have moving away here is the Temperance card. Our Temperance card, also known as Patience in some tarot decks as well. But Temperance to me always exists only within a relationship. She can't be there as an energy unless there is a relationship, because it talks of the backwards and the forwards of relationships, the ebb and the flow, the constant kind of connection between two people. And the relationship is nearly always an intimate relationship as well, rather than it being a relationship of friendship or family. It's not so much about that. It is more about a kind of intimate one-to-one relationship that you have with somebody. But it's upside down, so it's saying to me again that there was something, an energy here that didn't allow this to happen. It didn't allow this flow to keep moving, for this relationship to keep going. But I almost feel somehow that the relationship never really kind of got off the ground as such, Pisces, that it was almost more like it was in your head, shall we say, that it was almost like it was a romantic, idyllic kind of fantasy. But that's not to say that it wasn't real to you, because it was almost like you were kind of living it in a kind of dream kind of state, a dream world, fantasizing about it, imagining it, seeing it, being with this person, almost like living it. But it never actually came together. Or if it did, it was only on a friendship kind of, or a very, very kind of short, a very short length. It wasn't something that progressed very far, shall we say. And it's come out with the Eight of Wands, Eight of Fire. And the Eight of Fire is all about communication, but again it's upside down, and again it's kind of this same kind of energy for me of something that's not really taken place. It's like this, it's like I feel that you, Pisces, well, this could also be Pisces cross watchers, but there's an energy here of communication and conversations and kind of how can I put it, experiences that somebody wants to kind of live but they haven't. Again, I get the feeling of this kind of fantasy, this kind of, but it could be like this. It could. I know it could. If only I could make it happen. And this could also be this energy here as well. This is kind of what you don't want to let go here as well, Pisces. Or cross watchers. Because this could also have something to do with you as well. So that's what I'm getting from these two cards here. That both of these kind of, if they did exist at all, they only existed for a very short time, but they kind of became more real to somebody else than they did to the other person. And as we move into what's coming in, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which we also have down here. And in the subconscious, the Nine of Pentacles is upright. So whether this represents you, Pisces, or whether this represents the cross-watcher, somebody that you've had a relationship with, or somebody who has been interested in having a relationship with you, either way, because this is kind of below the surface, this is the subconscious realm, I'd say that this is kind of how somebody, this is what somebody's hoping for, again, with this kind of little flower and this kind of offering and this kind of, like, you know, I almost get this feeling of, like, you know, I will reveal myself to you, I will show you who I am. I don't want to say I will make you love me, but there's a kind of feeling about that somehow. That you will want to love me. But what's moving in here with the Ten of Pentacles reversed is a situation where I'm going to say that somebody has lost their kind of self-worth here. Somebody is feeling like they don't have the confidence or the worthiness. Maybe somebody doesn't feel as though they are good enough to be in a relationship with somebody. That this other person is, maybe they feel is too good for them. Because it's very interesting that one's come out upright and the other one's come out upside down. And it's come out also with temptation in reverse. And the temptation card to me, in this particular deck, always represents the kind of poison apple, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, or the bite from the apple that Eve took. That kind of totally changed the human race, I believe in the story. But itself, in itself, it's a good myth to kind of to kind of use in this analogy of it being something that was the temptation of Eve kind of awakening Adam to all the rest of the, or both of them in many ways, to the rest of the kind of, you know, temptation of all the goodies in the world, what they could have. But I get the feeling with this that there's a sense that this temptation, shall we say, or this person who is trying to kind of tempt this person here, I feel that Pisces, it's either yourself or the cross-watcher, that is trying to get this other person to realise, or to kind of wake up to the fact that they believe that they would be good for them. That they would be good for them, and that they will possibly help to heal a broken heart even. But there could also be a sense here of somebody who's kind of, like if you put this card up this way, you can see this kind of fairy, elf, fairy type creature here, and her wings here are kind of representing the leaves of this apple, and the bites out of it is in the shape of a heart as well, the big red side of the apple. But her leaves kind of represent, and it's kind of saying to me, it's almost like camouflage. It's almost like somebody who's kind of trying to blend into your life. Somebody who's trying to fit themselves in a way that may not feel comfortable for you, Pisces. You may be feeling that it's a little bit too much. And it's also come out with the 5 of fire, which is upside down. And whenever I see this card, I kind of see it today as somebody who's kind of all dressed up with nowhere to go. It's like she's in her party frock, shall we say. She's got herself all dressed up and she's kind of wanting to celebrate something. But in fact, what she's having to do is kind of look within herself as to why it is that she's very much kind of on her own here. Because there is nobody else around. It is just her. Almost like nobody came to the party. That's the kind of feeling that I get from this card. Today especially. That nobody has come to her party. And again, it doesn't have to be a he or a she. It's just the energy. And so these are the energies that I have coming in for you, Pisces. Which it's a very interesting read, actually. It's very kind of... I don't know if there's a warning behind it or not. It's almost like, it feels almost like as if there could be. With this person who's trying to fit in. But somehow they don't. They don't fit in. They're trying to fit into your life, but they don't. That's the energy that I'm getting from this. And almost like they're saying, but I'm willing to change as well, somehow. I'm willing to, you know, I'm willing to fit in. I'm willing to be what you want me to be. I'm willing to, because this is in reverse. This is usually when it's up the right way. It is about your own self-esteem and your own self-worth. But I get the feeling today this is more about saying that this is about somebody who's willing to change who they are in order to try and fit into your world, Pisces. but it has a kind of a strange energy to it, shall we say. Kind of a strange energy. Kind of almost like you're not. I feel maybe you are not wanting to accept that as well. That you're not looking for that particular relationship. Whoever that is with. And then we got these cards come out as well very quickly. We have the Eight of Swords, which is saying to me that there is a situation where you're feeling trapped and kind of not really knowing which way to turn and how to get out of this situation, which is a bit similar to the Nine of Wands that we started off with. And the Page of Swords here is saying to me that there's kind of a need for you to, or you're feeling like there's a need for you somehow to blow things out of proportion, or somebody's blowing things out of proportion. There's a sense of things kind of getting aired, that things need to be aired, things need to be brought out into the open maybe. The Page of Swords. And High Priestess is saying to me today that you need to really trust your instincts. Trust your own inner knowing, because you do know. Again, it's similar. She's got this pomegranate here in her hand, which is a bit similar to the apple in a way as well. So there is a sense here of you kind of needing to be aware. Trust your instincts. Trust your own intuition, your feelings about something. And if it doesn't feel right, then kind of walk away from it. I think that's what this is saying. Walk away from it. And we have the Knight of Pentacles here, who's riding in very slowly, but he's riding in with this offer of something very real, something very kind of physical, grounded in something solid. But at the same time, you don't know whether you should accept it. Because here it is, here's that pentacle here, but this again is in reverse. So this is a card of potential, of things being full of potential or possible potential. And it's a dilemma because you, Pisces, don't know whether this is something that is divinely inspired, shall we say. Something that you should be taking, which is where I feel you need to really listen to your inner voice, your inner feelings, your intuition. Really trust yourself in this situation. Really trust yourself, because this is upside down. If it was up this way, I would say that, you know, that the coin that is being offered here, and also being offered here, is, you know, it's a good solid proposal, something that you really should kind of take a good hard look at, and you'll be more likely to accept it. But because it's in reverse, I'm going to say take a good hard look at it anyway, Pisces. But as to whether or not you're willing to accept this offer that's being made to you is an entirely different story. And the reasons as to why you feel that it might not be most appropriate for you. So I'm going to end this reading with a crystal Deva card, and the one that I pulled was number 13. It's clear quartz, and it's all about leadership. So I should just read a brief bit from this. It says, as a leader, your behaviour becomes a model for others. Be prepared for it to influence your circle of family, friends and co-workers. Take responsibility for your thoughts, words and actions. Set the kind of example that you would want to emulate yourself and that could create a better world. The openness of your heart and the quality of your character will set the standard. We encourage you to work with minerals yourself and give stones to your friends. We would be honoured if you chose a piece of quartz. However, if you feel led to another kind of stone, it may help you or your friend even more. But it's talking about taking a piece of quartz crystal and keeping it on your person, because quartz is one of the stones that is used more than any other. We use it, you'll find quartz in all our computers, it's in all our mobile phones, it's in watches. It has been for many, many years, and they don't work without this quartz. And it only has to be a very tiny, tiny piece of quartz, but it will do an amazing job at what it does. And so there's another bit here. It says, leadership in our domain has challenges just as it does in yours. The mantle of leadership is one that we welcomed and accepted, but leadership is not always sought after or appreciated. How are you responding to your role as a leader or to the leaders who affect your life? In your world filled with emotion, leadership often evokes reactions from others. Some people may want to turn over all their power to their leaders. They follow blindly, assuming everything the leader says or does is without error. Others will be jealous of their leader's authority and may try to undermine their work. Still others will try to determine if their intention is for the greater good, and if so, work cooperatively toward that end. You have powerful leadership ability. Use it for the highest good. Many need your sincere and competent direction. Become a leader of the new millennium. Live your life in a sincere, positive way that others will want to adopt. Your heart is purer than the clearest quartz crystal. We surround you with light and love and friendship. Which kind of takes me back to this card here as well, which we started with, which is all about light and crystal. The quartz crystal is also about light. It's also a very, sorry, reversed up, wrong way there. It's also a clear, pure energy. And with the card of leadership, I kind of feel that maybe this is also something that this person is maybe wanting something to do with the recognition that you yourself may have as well, Pisces. That they're almost kind of wanting to, I wouldn't say hang on your coattails, but there's a kind of feeling that they feel that whatever prestige you have could also maybe rub off on them too, Pisces. So I'm going to finish this reading there and say I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it has been of some help to you. Please could you like my readings up, because it does help get them out into the bigger YouTube world, because then more people get to actually see them, like them. More people would subscribe to my channel as well, which is what I'm trying to do this year, is grow it so that more people get to hear my messages. So could you also please not only like my video but subscribe to my channel for future videos, and tap that bell so that you do get future videos when I put them out for you. And if you think that anybody else would benefit from this reading, Pisces, please feel free to share it. And like I said, there will be a link in the description box down below for anybody who wants to check out their own natal chart as well. Thank you very much for listening, and please take care, Pisces. I hope to see you soon.